Hey, everybody, welcome to Ed and Ken's mini podcast. Just a warning out there, Ken Jordan is on fire. I don't know what he put in his coffee this morning, but you better all hold on to your seats. How you doing today, Ken?
I am doing fantastic, and this is only on 2 cups of coffee. So just, I don't know, man, something in the air. I'm ready to go today.
I love it. Let's rock and roll. Let's get right into it with your blueprint and what you had in mind. And I love it, the shareable items. Let's go.
Yeah, so again, in line with making sure that we touch on some of this blueprint content, this quarter talks about lead magnets, and there's two things about this that I love, Ed, and you were an agent at one time, and this is a common thing. A lot of times you go to the agent's websites and they have their list of vendors and things like that, which I think are all phenomenal. But what the idea here is a lead magnet being a Google Doc or a form, something that you keep on your computer so that whenever you make a new collision, now we in Princeton, we call them collisions. That's where you collide with a potential new customer or potential new referral partner in our world. And when you make those collisions, the first thing you want to do is you want to build trust, right? What do people do? Know, like, trust. Those are the holy trinity of doing business. One great way to build trust is to make a micro commitment. And one of the things I love about this lead magnet idea is that it's basically just a document that includes key phone numbers, utilities, schools, DMV, trash recycling, emergency contacts. And you can do it neighborhood by neighborhood, right? Restaurants, your favorite coffee shop, service providers, where to take the kids, best walking trails, homeowners insurance or homeowners resources like contractors, landscapes. Nothing revolutionary in this idea. However, when you're at the coffee shop, when you're in the waiting room at the doctor's office and you're having conversations with people that could potentially, or someone they know could potentially be looking to buy, these lead magnets are phenomenal because they give you an opportunity to make a promise, even a slight, small promise. And this kind of builds on another idea that we work on here, and it's 7 minutes to build trust. That's how long it takes to build trust. 7 minutes. Most people think it takes all these conversations and all this, rapport building and hugging and staying on the phone for way longer than you should because you think you're building this bond. As a business owner, you don't have that kind of time. It takes 7 minutes to build trust. And this is in that same vein. If someone calls me and I'm checking out at the supermarket, right? And I say, hey, I'm going to call you back in 7 minutes. All I got to do is, hey, Siri, set an alarm for 7 minutes, right? It's that easy.
Starting now.
It's that easy for me to set an alarm for 7 minutes and then get the car situated, get stuff in the car. As soon as 7 minutes hits, you call that person back. And what you just did was you just made a small promise and then delivered on it. Every time you do that, you build trust. Every time you call in minute 8, look, it's not the end of the world, but you watered the seeds of doubt. And when you take that 7 minutes seriously, or 3 minutes, or whatever it takes to call that person back, when you make that commitment, you have just built trust. And when you are in a collision with someone and you're like, hey, I'm going to send you my sheet, my neighborhood resource, my county resource, my town resource, whatever it is, and you promise it to them, you go back to your office and you send it to them, you just delivered on a micro commitment. Micro commitments are huge.
Great, folks. We will see you next week. Thanks for hanging in there with us. This was awesome, Ken.
It's really an interesting topic. Think about it, right? When you tell someone I'm going to call you back ASAP, what does that even mean? It's sloppy. It's like, well, ASAP leaves this like huge area of interpretation. Or I'll call you back as soon as I can, right? Well, I'm on the other end wondering what that is. Is it 5 minutes? Is it 10 minutes? I might even make a decision. Okay, he'll probably call me back in a half hour. And then you don't call me back in a half hour, and you just watered the seeds of doubt. You just failed to deliver on a commitment that they made. You let them make it because you didn't give them any specifics, right? And this goes for so much of our business, even in the real estate transaction, right? You can't say, I'm going to get you something by Tuesday and not get it to them by Tuesday, right? It's just, you think that these are innocuous, oh, what's the big deal? I got it to them on Wednesday, everybody's happy, right? No. If you want to build relationships, if you want to build that trust, make your micro commitments and deliver on your micro commitments.
Back in 2004, I did an Anthony Robbins event, Unleash the Power Within. Back then, he said, good is not good enough anymore. You have to be outstanding. 20 years ago, if you were good, you got the good job, you got the good business, you got the good pension, you got the good clients, today, good gets you fired. And that was 21 years ago. Now, what I hear you saying is, when you make those micro commitments. So Ken, I'm gonna call you back in 11 minutes. Siri, set the timer for 11 minutes. Guess who I'm building trust with? That's more important than building trust with you.
I think I know the answer.
Take a guess.
And it's so on point. When you deliver on, you're making that, right? You're making that promise to yourself too, and you're building that trust with yourself.
That's it. If we don't do that, right? Yeah, it's not the end of the world. However, just like micro commitments build the business that you've built over the years. Micro non-commitments, I used to call them little fractures. They're just little fractures in your own belief in yourself, your own trust in yourself, your own integrity in yourself. And there's a little voice that's saying, you're not who you say you are, Ed. You're not who you say you are, Ed. You're not who you say you are, Ed. And that's where the it factor comes out. And the it factor is when somebody meets with Ken Jordan, they say, oh man, I don't know what it is about that guy. There's just something about it, but I don't know what it is. And just like when they meet with someone else, they could say that was 11 minutes late. They'd say, you know what? I don't know what it is about that guy. There's just something about him. I don't know what it is.
You know what's funny, Ed? You talk about brain chemistry and how the chemical cocktail that you just conjured up with your thoughts gives you a certain feeling, a certain emotion. And what people they don't give enough credit to is how strong your emotional memory is. Your logical memory is faint compared to your emotional memory. You'll hold on to and remember the feeling. I remember the feeling of my first mortgage application. I remember the anxiety. I remember the fear. I remember the excitement. You know what I don't remember? I don't remember the borrower's name. I don't remember the address. I don't even remember the date. I don't remember the loan amount. I don't remember how much I made on it. Yeah. Those are all facts, but I remember how I felt. And I think that when we talk about these micro commitments, it taps into that very thing. It's like when you don't deliver on a commitment, just means like even if it's mildly annoyed or like people, they'll be like, I don't know what it is about that guy. Just not for me. Probably because they don't remember the situation. They just remember they have a certain emotional memory from an interaction with you that was potentially set up by missing an opportunity to make a micro commitment and deliver on it.
So I'm going to make a micro commitment to any of our clients, any of our agent partners. There are two things that real estate agents, I believe, are not. I believe they need these two things. And I'll send them the micro commitment if they need it. Number one, they don't work in their strength zone. So need to find out where your natural strength zone is. And number two, when they find out their natural strength zone, they don't exactly know what to do. I can send them 2 ChatGPT prompts that will help them get aligned with who they really are at the core. And then number 2, translate that into a weekly a calendar, a weekly schedule. It's amazing, life changing.
Yeah, and your idea about working in your strength zones too. Oh, and excuse me for 1 second. I apologize. I promised this person I would call them back. Just give me 1 second, right? Or
You're
give
breaking a
me 5 minutes,
micro-commitment
right?
with me. You're breaking. I feel like you're cheating on me right now. This is not good for. We're gonna have to go back into therapy, dude.
So that was the 7 minute timer, right? Like here, you and I are really into it, and I would have forgotten that I made that commitment if I didn't use the timer. So that was a big part of when you are making commitments to someone. If you're going to do something by a certain time,
Yeah.
set a reminder for it, man. Don't miss that. But
So
you had
let's
mentioned,
go back. Let's go back to your Cafe Bellissimo days
uh
and my and my Casey's trolley stop days before I owned the West End. So as a bartender, micro commitments. Ken, I knew what you drank. Bam, here you go, Ken. You knew, and you would tell your friends, you got to go see this bartender, Eddie, man. He knows everybody. If you need to know where to get your oil changed, your shoes shined, your dry cleaning, your sports tickets, where to have a bachelor party, like he is your resource. Go in, have a couple drinks with him, whatever you need, he's your guy. Micro commitments. I was one of the few bartenders, I believe, that I was on guaranteed salary through my tips. I knew every
wow,
week what I was going to make
yeah.
because I knew you, Ken Jordan, would come in. And just because of my micro commitments to you, you're a $20 tip every single time.
Yep, absolutely. That's a great point. And you had talked about you've talked about this before. The mountain of evidence, right? So now we take these little micro commitments and we start to build on them, right? And all of a sudden we end up in a whole nother area called discipline, right? And discipline, as my first coach taught me, is doing what you say you're going to do after the high of saying you're going to do it wears off. Right?
Yeah.
We all know that dopamine rush you get. And you're like, you know what? This is the week. New me. I'm going to the gym this week, and then you don't do it, right? Because the high wears off, and you're outside of that integrity. But the other benefit of those micro commitments is that's how you build your mountain of evidence. That is how you build your mountain of evidence that you are the person that says you're going to do it, and you build the habits around it, and then that becomes discipline. And then once it's a discipline, man, nothing can get in your way. Nothing can get in your way once you're disciplined around it.
1000%, man. I love it. I love it.
7 minutes is all it takes to build trust, folks. That's it. Not an hour-long conversation where they rattle on about their dogs and their problems. Like, I'm not saying we are not like, but too many people put too much stock in time on the phone as a way to build trust. Fine, you're making a friend, whatever. But if you want to build trust, it takes 7 minutes.
Let's keep it simple.
Keep it simple. My action item first. Your action item, Ed, for the people listening. Reach out to Ed. He'll give you the 2 prompts. The prompt number 1 is figure out what your strength zone is, and prompt number 2 is going to be able to structure a calendar around your strengths. Yes.
Yes. And I'll give you a hint that the mistake real estate agents and business people in general are making is they are asking their AI assistant, which is ChatGPT, questions that aren't specific enough. And ChatGPT is giving you generic answers because it doesn't know you well enough. If ChatGPT does not know you intimately, it's not going to be able to guide you.
Yeah.
And I'll give you
Yeah,
that.
that's a good point. I think a lot, in the whole ChatGPT AI space, I heard that a lot of people that was never proven more than when we went from 4 to 5. And apparently the whole model, like there was a lot that was lost in the model, and people were like, I don't even think my ChatGPT knows me anymore. Well, it's probably true. You have to rebuild the work. You got to rebuild your documents, and utilizing prompts and utilizing documents that are saved on your computer. to re-upload to ChatGPT to remind them of certain things is also beneficial. I've heard a lot of people are using, they're basically setting up files for their ChatGPT, because ChatGPT's memory is not unlimited.
Yeah.
Right? So it will tend to forget things. But if you have your documents file and you can re-upload stuff, re-upload prompts, re-upload bio information, so that it continues to know who you are, especially when it goes from model to model to model, because sometimes some of that stuff is lost. I don't know if you heard, if anybody you talked to mentioned that when it went to 5.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
Interesting though. Yeah.
Are you using projects in ChatGPT?
I don't think I am.
So do you have the free version or do you have the
I have the
paid
paid
version?
version, whatever I'm on, pro or whatever.
Maybe we should do a show, or maybe when you come up in September, we'll set up a one of the things we'll do when we get together is we'll get a bunch of people together and start showing them how to use projects. Projects are really, really cool, where you can set it up to do a very specific thing. And in order for you set up your instructions, so that all you have to do is make one entry, and based on the instructions in the project, it knows what to do with that entry. But then periodically you can download the information from the project and upload it back to the project as a PDF. And that gives your ChatGPT very specific memory around what you want it to do and the data that's there. So if you're tracking, whether you're tracking your health data, or you're tracking your weight, or you're tracking your productivity at work, or you're tracking your sales, or you're tracking your expenses, you're tracking your P&Ls, whatever it is, the project function allows you to upload those documents as PDFs, and then it has something to reference to go back to and say, okay, what has my average commission been this quarter? What's my total cost of advertising this year? And if it has all of the previous PDFs, it can give it to you right away. It's really, really cool.
Love it, man. Let's wrap it up. We're at
All right.
17 minutes.
Crazy, man. This stuff goes fast.
Anything else?
No, just give me a holler if you haven't gotten Blueprint Volume 7. We're still working on Volume 7. And, I'll be happy to get together. The book of the book of the quarter, Die with Zero. Again, I think I mentioned it last time, but if you haven't read it, read it. It's a great book. And yeah, man, I'm ready. I'm excited to get back to writing loans, man. That just gets me fired up.
Let's do it, baby. See you next week.
All right. Be good.